Hi, it's Mike. Thought we'd like to get an update on what we've been doing here on the little Painted Desert Seed Company, and have a look around at the property we've got. So, without further ado, we're on top of a mesa. The mesa is about 20 miles wide and about 50 miles long, running east to west here in northeastern Arizona. The county seat is a little town called St. John's, about 40 miles off to the south here. Our elevation at this part of the mesa is 6,700 feet. You can see here where we've constructed a couple of hoop houses. We've got this one here is not occupied yet. I've got a great deal of burgundy okra you can see back in here that's going to be going into that hoop house. It's a dwarf okra, so it'll fit inside here. You can see I've already got some peppers, and these are orange bell peppers and hillbilly tomatoes in here. Back yonder you can see I've got melons and corn sprouting yet, still coming up. These are all tomato sprouts and pepper sprouts. Currently I'm working on a fence to fence in the garden. Finally got a hold of 150 feet of fencing where we had to leave 300 feet in Phoenix. We just ended up against the wall time-wise, ran out of rent money, had to get up here, left it. It's a shame. Right here I've been digging out a reservoir by hand simply for watering. Watering plants have about 2,000 gallon storage there when we've completed that. The fencing is going to run from the edge of the hoop house to this tree, then up around the reservoir, and you can see where I've laid out the poles. It'll go to the edge of the chicken coop there, and then from the other side of the chicken coop back to the hoop houses. Pardon me. In this tent we've got a couple of computers set up and a desk and everything. It functions as my office. Betty works inside the van. We also sleep there at night. It's comfortable and pretty spacious, really. It's not bad. We don't need a lot. It's warm. We hope to have something else built in the place of the tent by time cold weather hits. You can see I've been cutting a lot of wood off of these trees to make this place livable as a camp. This tree here was just about dead. I had to cut out a bunch out of the way for the chicken coop and for the hoop houses. This tree had to be cut. This tree had to be cut just to give us shade to sit in during the day. It is 6,700 feet, four corners area. It's very cool. You can see it's an evergreen environment rather than pure desert environment. Up this way about a mile, there's a 500-foot cliff that overlooks the Painted Desert. We'll take you up there one of these times to have a look over that. All juniper, pinon grass. It's beautiful country. You can see the clouds and stuff. We have big storm systems to look at almost every day, at least on the horizon. We've been getting rain lately. It's Arizona's monsoon season. And that's what brings me back to that cutting the tree for shade. It's 6,700 feet, but it's Arizona, people, and this sun is intense, even up here at high altitude. So we've had to cut some of that out to make room to sit in. Here you can see we've got a good pile of lumber that's been donated by a friend who is able to get it from work, does concrete forms, and when they're done, then they've already been paid for, so he's able to take them home. He's been donating that to us. We should hopefully, along with some of this other lumber, have enough to build ourselves an outdoor shower and commode pretty soon, and then hopefully another, like a shed or some shelter for the winter time as well. This here's Miss Shorty. Hi, baby. Yeah, say hello. Here you can see we've got some more sprouts going on. These are purple ruffles basil here. Back here I've got some Mexican cilantro, coriander. This right here seems to be a stray marigold that got in there in the soil. Sweet sorghum. This is Sand Mountain variety, which is appropriate since we're on a mountain that's covered in sand. Here's Titan sunflowers. We have some more of those sprouting in here. Here you can see the burgundy okra that I was talking about. That'll be planted down both of these hoop houses. I've got about 40 started there. So there'll be plenty of fresh seed there. Now, we're late in the season. We'd hope to have produce ready to go by now, but been fighting the elements, the weather, the animals, trying to make do with little scraps of fence until we got it going. But so far, we don't have a lot to show for it. We've been working hard. Now with the fence going in, we can get the garden up and running so that we can have produce for ourselves by fall, some seeds to add to the catalog. But we're counting on getting a greenhouse built to grow produce over the winter time. The local market is screaming for produce. Everybody's been very enthusiastic. The restaurants, the local markets, the trading posts up on the reservation, they want fresh produce. So we're going to try and be providing it for them by this winter time. Those that have expressed concern about the cowboy, when they saw the picture I posted, truck's just fine. I'm doing some work on it right now, but we had someone who donated a tire to fix that problem. We got a good spare. We got good tires. Truck's running great. We take it to town once or twice a week, either 40 miles down to St. John's at the county seat, or 20 miles, which we run a few miles across the reservation there. All of this that you can see out this way, that's all the Navajo reservation out there, about a quarter of a mile away from us, at the end of our driveway down there. So we haul a lot of water. You can see we got there's 2 55-gallon drums here, 2 here. We've got about another 50 gallons worth of igloos and Colemans and things that we fill, and then we've got about another 40 to 50 gallons of drinking water over here under the tarps. We still haven't finished taking all of our belongings out from under these tarps and finding a place for them. So at any given time, we got about as much as 300 gallons of water here on the property. So we're doing fine there as far as that goes. And we have a partner who's putting a well on his property, which is the other 40 acres of the farm. Here, the Eagle, I've been working on it. It'll be on the road very soon. I like the way progress is going on it. We got to get it registered. You can see here more of the cutting I've been doing. This whole, all of this has been trimmed off of these trees right here around the camp so that we can basically have usable space to live in, walk around and work. This here is a rocket stove that's been donated. Works great for warmth. It's a little inefficient for high heat for cooking, but it produces a lot of heat of lower temperature, which is perfect for warmth. And so over the winter time, we'll bury this exhaust here underneath the greenhouse and the living quarters to help keep us warm during the winter time and be able to keep on growing during the winter. So right now, we usually either cook on the open fire here, which we have to be careful. It's windy up here, so we can only cook on certain days. The rest of the time, we have a makeshift, what we laughingly call a solar oven here, which is a pan with a bag around it, and we have a black plastic growing bag that we'll put over a can of. Right now, there's ravioli in there. That's because I'm too sore to cook this tonight. I've been working on the fence and on the pond. Now, as far as the extent of the property here, this is a right-of-way that we're coming up on. Looking up the hill there, you could see how the trees have been cut away to form where the road would go if there was a road. And so we own all the way up here to the top of this hill here where the big trees are over there. All the way down here, you can see the county road. And across down there, and the right-of-way coming up this way. We own this entire hill back here, and the one behind it, which is all just beautiful, intensely wooded. It's all juniper, pinyon, grass. You could see here there's occasional holly bush. The view is fantastic. Down across from the county road, that's the border of the Navajo reservation. So we get along fine when we go to Sanders, which is mostly run by people from the nation. They're the sweetest people. They're very friendly. They've been very helpful with everything we're doing. And the only problems we've ever had have been with the white people down in St. John's. You know, they could be kind of mean down there. Lady didn't like that we were asking questions about how to save money on our shipping, like we were trying to get away with something. I was like, I'm trying to run a business, you know. This is where that little tree is across the road this way. That's the beginning of our property, and then on up to the top of that other hill over there. So it's a lot of room to work with. Now, as far as the fence goes, I was going to put a gate in on this side to service the garden, but I didn't want to have it drive all the way through the garden and just use up the space. So what I'll be doing is I'll have a service entrance here. You can see there's enough clear space to drive by with the truck, and on around through here. You can see all this manure. This is all going on the compost pile. There's cow manure like this everywhere. It's open range, so we got horses, donkeys, cattle running all over, wild horses. But there's also a lot of manure from deer, elk, and antelope all over the place. So here you can see this is a little lone Sonoran flare I'm growing. I plan to run the vine up this tree in lieu of a trellis if it ever gets going. It's got a couple tomatoes on it. You can't see it. They're very small in the blooms. But it's actually growing well. It's much slower than I'm used to in Phoenix, I can tell you that. So the service entrance, I'm planning on bringing the driveway around through here. Fence will be here. And then there'll be a gate here where this board is. So I can pull up here with a truck or a tractor here and then in. The reasoning being, I've already got a service area here where I've started the compost pile. I've got the watering pond over here, so really this is the area here where between the two where I'll need to service with a vehicle. It'll have to come in here to load or unload, to haul water in or out, compost in or out, to we harvest produce to get it on the truck with a minimum of handling. And I didn't want to come in over here and just waste this entire area on a driveway. So for that reason, I'm going to be going around here to enter the garden. But that also provides access down to the bottom, and over here near this tree here, that's what we call the deer tree. The tree, the deer and the antelope kind of hang around under that tree. Have a lot of birds here too. Near there is where we'll be putting our permanent house. We want to build it out of rammed earth. So this is what we've got. There's also a lot of birds here. There's pinon jays, there's blue jays, there's warblers, there's swallows, there's woodpeckers, hawks. We had what's called a ferruginous hawk flying overhead. It's almost, I mean, it's the size of an eagle. You're the 4 feet or plus. Found out that the crows here chase the hawks away. Pretty crazy. So something I never knew about before. Whenever we see a hawk up here, there's always a crow that shows up to chase it away. So I don't know if they like us feeding the chickens or maybe. We've also got a small generator installed, 1,500 watts. Helps us. I can run 2 computers and any devices, charge my razor, that kind of stuff. We can run inside the tent on that, in addition to our solar panel over there, which is about an 800 watt installation. And so that's a quick look at what we've been up to and where we're going. So stay tuned, and I'll update you as we finish new projects around here. Man, what a view.